Do you ever have that feeling where everything's starting to click and you think you're going to make a deadline? Can you tell me what that feels like? Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's Road to the Scale Nationals episode 5, and stuff has happened. Some cool stuff arrived today that will actually allow me to finish some of these trucks, which is really great news. And I did some painting, as you will see here in a minute. The main thing that we're going to look at in this video is a painting tutorial, and that might not be interesting and, albeit all that necessary for a Scale Nationals or a Scale Comp, but I like to win ribbons. And I'm hoping that this paint job and this tutorial will help me win something, at least. There will be a concourse, and that's generally where the Scale Builders Guild shines anyway, so why not put a lot of effort into making a truck look good and possibly perform semi-well as well. I mean, I know I'm going to beat Josh in at least one of these classes, maybe even two of them. I'm definitely confident going in, confidence is key. One of the things, before we get into that tutorial, some of the things that have changed on Class 2. This week, the Holmes Hobbies Puller Pro V2 2200 kV brushless censored motor came in. I'm pairing that with a Mamba X, and I'm going to probably get that installed for the next video, which hopefully will be the last video before we actually go to the Nationals. And the other major thing that needed to come in, that has come in today, Vanquish Products sent me a pre-production set of the Capra width Vanquish'D Axles. I'm really excited to get those installed on the Ripper. Class 1, I got some lights installed this week as well. Maybe we'll get a little footage of that. My Trick RC Marlin now has really cool halo headlights, so a little bit of footage of that right now. And that truck is pretty much wrapped up and ready to go. Everything's been tested, everything's working, and it's ready to go out to Nevada. So that's awesome. Class 1 ready to go. Class 3 will be ready by the end of next week. Maybe even by the end of this week, actually. And Class 2, lots of little fiddly detail things to do, a little bit of work on the interior to do still, but we're going to try to cover as much of that right now. Aside from a lot of cosmetic stuff, I did manage to get these mirrors installed, and one of the cool things about what I've done here is I've actually made these swivel, so you get all the points for having rear view mirrors, which is good for a non-functional scale point. It is just worth 1, but the fact that they're on there means I don't have to do something else to get a point. And because they swivel, you can actually tuck them in right up against the body, and then they're out of the way and you won't be hitting any gates or knocking anything over. I just made a couple of cuts in the actual mirror and drilled a hole and put in a scale bolt, and then they're on a swivel, and yeah. Nice little addition, nice little scale point. I found a friend locally, also another Josh, believe it or not. This one I'm actually friends with. He's got a sandblasting media booth at his house, so I'm going to take these bumpers over to his place with probably a gift of some kind to thank him for media blasting my bumpers. That's going to be a really big help, and it's really cool that he offered that up, so thank you, Josh. I painted the inner fenders as well, so those now have an aluminum look to them. A little airbrushing goes a long way in that regard. Interior. I've started the interior work. This is the Vanquish VS410 Origin truck interior. It's been trimmed massively to fit. I do have to do some more trimming on the actual dashboard to make sure everything kind of fits together. This is temporary. This is for this comp only. I will do an actual full interior. I've got all the panels. I just needed to have this truck done. Additionally, I'm also waiting on some more scale hardware from Locked Up RC. It's in the mail. It should be here tomorrow, and then I'm going to finish up the rear set of tires and wheel combo. I love these bronze methods with the red ring. I think it's kind of TRD inspired and goes really nicely with the overall scheme of the whole truck. So other than that, and the electronics getting installed hopefully today or tomorrow, let's go over to this paint tutorial. I'm going to show you how to get this chipping effect on a hard body just like this. It's a very cool effect. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let's get right into that tutorial. So here's the body. I started with this body flat black after primer, and that's just a Krylon or Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch. I'll be using the Vallejo Rust and Chipping Effects kit. In this kit, you get a nice bottle of chipping medium, and that's what you use to get the chipping effect. I also started by painting the body with some dark brown and some rust, and these are very, very light layers just to add some texture to that black, so it's not just totally flat black. Give it a bit of muddled rust look. I kind of did this in sort of random patterns all over the body. This is a good idea because the chipping that you will eventually reveal all this black underneath, you don't want it to be the exact same shade everywhere, so this just gives it kind of a randomized pattern, adds a little bit of brown, a little bit of rust texture all over the body. I'm using a Pash Talon, and it's a good airbrush. So there is the body all done. You can see that there's some random brown areas there just to give it a bit of detail. And now I'm using that chipping medium, and this was the first time I've used Vallejo's chipping medium, and I found that it was actually a little heavy for the airbrush, so I watered it down ever so slightly. I think I added like 2 drops of water over 7 or 8 drops of chipping medium, and that's just to make it flow a little bit better. Now I'm laying down the base color, which is the white. This was a mix of a couple of different colors that I had on hand. I actually even used some Proline Lexan paint, believe it or not. It actually was a pretty good compound to add to some Vallejo white that I had, and gave it a nice kind of almost creamy white texture. I think I'll still probably even go back and give that a bit of a wash afterwards. So there we go. That's the base white color. And here's some references. This is from an Instagram account that I follow, Era Adventure 80, and it's an 80 series that has a very similar paint scheme. They also went TRD Pro, but that's a wrap on their truck, and mine obviously isn't a wrap. But anyway, on to the actual chipping process. So now that we've got our base color and we've applied it over that chipping compound or that chipping medium, you can actually go in and with a wet brush, you can actually lift up that top layer of paint and actually dissolve the chipping medium underneath. And that's what's creating this kind of chipped and weathered look, is you're actually using water and a stiff brush and a little bit of friction. You can even use a wooden stick like I've got here to reveal all of that paint underneath. And you just soak a little bit of water over the top layer. It seeps through to the bottom layer of chipping medium, and as you chip away at it and brush at it, it reveals the original layer of paint. And that's essentially the process. You can see here I've sped up a lot of it, and it does take an awful lot of time to do this, but here's the finished result, and it's really, really cool. You can see that it's completely random, and it's all over the place, and I intentionally chipped more where I'm going to be putting the TRD stripes because I want those to really kind of stand out and also look weathered. This is a really cool technique, and the best advice I can give you as to how much you should do is when you think you've probably done enough, you have, and that's where you should definitely stop and move on to another portion of the truck. I did seal the whole thing with Tamiya Flat Clear in a TS80. And the whole point of that is to make sure that you're sealing in all of those chips. Otherwise, because it's water soluble, any more chipping you did over top would reveal the next layer underneath, and so on and so on and so on. So here we are adding a little more chipping medium now because we want to do the stripes over top of where these chips are. So now we're getting into the TRD stripes, and you can see I've taped everything off, and I chose some colors that I thought were pretty decent representatives from the Vallejo Model Air collection. And we're just going to go over all of these stripes one at a time, and I just put a little piece of cardboard over the top there so I didn't spill into the next stripe. But the beautiful thing about an airbrush is you can kind of vary the flow, and provided you've had some practice, you don't really need to do much masking because it will stay within the lines. So now we've laid down the orange, and now we're laying down the final red color as well. I did mix in a little Proline red as well, just to get it a little bit closer to the pop of the red that I wanted. And you can see that because these are lighter layers and not a really heavy coat, because you obviously want to be able to get to that chipping medium underneath, most of where those big chips are, you can already see. So you're kind of at a advantage because you don't need to go back and kind of remember where all those chips were. And it's very easy for you to find all those little bits and pieces. And once we get into the actual chipping again here, you'll see how it kind of brings it all to life. Because these are light layers, it's really easy to wipe away all that paint. Didn't require a ton of effort, it just requires a lot of time. I'm pretty happy with the results. You can see it's almost as if these were painted on after the truck had already started to degrade the original paint. Almost like he was like, well, I guess I could have primed and painted and prepped and finished this, but let's just get the stripes on there and be done. So there you go. That's the finished result right there. That's, again, I've sealed everything in with another layer of TS80 flat clear from Tamiya, just to make sure none of the chipping actually gets removed. And here's just another little bit of time lapse here of me doing the tailgate. It's such a cool look. I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. And it's definitely something I'm going to try again. I've done a little bit of chipping just to kind of make it look as if the clear coat has failed, but I thought this was a really cool opportunity to try something a little bit larger scale. No pun intended. Just using the airbrush here to spray in some of the rubber trim as well. I'm just using another Vallejo black color that I had. And here's the finished truck. All the windows are in, the wipers are on. The grill has been chromed using a Molotow chrome pen. Those are really handy. I definitely recommend picking up one of those. And those are the tiny little 3D printed letters that I did. And because it's a pinched nose, I wanted to have it say not the full Toyota. And you know I like to mess around, and rarely do I have a truck that actually says Toyota anymore. So there's the rear tailgate. A little bit of work left to do on that, but overall I'm really thrilled with how this turned out. I think it looks really awesome. And if you guys have any questions about this technique or how it's done, by all means, post down below. I love reading through your feedback, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions on this chipping paint technique. So that's the painting tutorial. It did take a long time, but I think the results speak for themselves. It's a really cool look, and it's very similar to that wrap that Freaky Skins did for me on the SR5 that I sold to Josh. This kind of gets me my truck back in a way, and actually, in my opinion, is 100 times cooler because it's actually paint. It's a very cool technique. I'm also considering doing some weathering. I've got some washes here and some rust effects, and I thought about doing a little bit of stuff just to weather it out, just to dull that white paint overall, because it is pretty intense still, and it kind of looks a little new in the white paint anyway. What would you do? Would you do some more weathering, do the panel lines with a wash, pin wash, or would you leave it as is? Put your comments down below. You know I love reading through all of your comments, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. I always appreciate the feedback, so continue to give me those comments. And if you're enjoying this video, of course, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. So with that, lots of progress on Class 2. I'm really super excited. I'm gonna have to decide on a driver. In previous VS410 interiors, I've used the Tamiya Bruiser driver. I've got a couple of resin pops, and they're super easy to prime up and paint and detail and get in there. And that way, at least a driver will be in. In this case, for this truck, I think that driver might be a tiny bit small. So I may have to come up with some other solution. I've always got a box full of drivers and driver heads. That's a lot of Wild Willies. I got a lot of drivers in there. All kinds of different drivers. This is my driver's bin. I'm sure to find something that'll work in there. It's so weird. Every day this list feels like it's getting longer and not shorter. But what is it? Today's the 3rd. So I've got 16 days until I arrive in Las Vegas. And the plan originally was to ship out all these trucks so I didn't have to fly with them. but I've changed my mind on that. Give myself as much time as possible, and then I don't have to worry about them getting damaged in shipping. I'm gonna take them with me in a giant Pelican case, and we'll just put that in the belly of the plane. Totally the best way to do it, I think. And it means that they'll arrive when I arrive, hopefully. I've just jinxed it, obviously. So I think that's gonna do it for episode 5. Lots done, lots still to do. If the week pans out the way it is, maybe we'll get another video out by the end of the week showing progress and showing those new axles on the Class 3 Ripper. You know, I'm really keen to get those built and put on there because it's basically gonna finish the truck. So with that, stay tuned. There might be another episode this week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.